just got my notification.
What is up, everybody? It is 7 o'clock and we're Lines In. This is Lines In, the new podcast for the West Tennessee area. And guys, we're really excited about this. This is something we've been discussing doing for a while, and it's just time. The sport has grown so much in this area. David and Robert up here can't keep kayaks in the shop. People are traveling from out of town to buy them, so it's just exciting. We're just really excited to get this going, and we're also launching. We've already launched the website linesinkayak.fishing.com. We'll be discussing some more of that as well as we go through tonight. But you guys be sure to go and check that out. It's an awesome resource for kayak fishing in general, but also just for the West Tennessee area. We've got our recommended floats and honey holes on there, tips and techniques, just all kind of great information for all your kayaking needs and wants. But I want to introduce everybody right now. My name is Justin Patrick. This is Matt Skelton, tournament director of West Tennessee Bass Yackers and owner of Flatwater Fishing. We got David Best with us tonight, operations manager of SY Wilson, Mr. Salesman over here, and owner of Primary Tackle. So I'm excited to have these two guys. They're really good friends of mine doing this, and we're really excited to bring this show to you guys tonight. We want to just kind of talk a little bit about what this page is about, what this show is about, what it means to us, what it means for the area. So we'll just kind of go around the table. David, we'll start with you. What does Lines In mean to you? What does it mean to kind of get this show kickstarted?
We've been doing the Primary Tackle live show for years now, 3 or 4 years, and for me, Lines In is that opportunity to just discuss kayak fishing. Yeah. It's a new piece for me. I mean, I've been a bass boat guy for 30 some odd years now, and I just picked up the kayak thing about a year and a half ago. I fell in love with it. I don't have a bass boat anymore. I'm fishing strictly out of my little Hobie, and I love what I'm doing. Still got a learning curve for it. I mean, it is not the easiest thing. We'll talk a little bit more about that and some of my challenges in the show. I've got a few videos on some things that go wrong, but it's just such a cool way. It's such a peaceful way to fish, and it's such a different thing to do. So I love it. I mean, it's all I can say about it.
Well, Matt, you've been doing this a long time, a lot longer than me and David. You helped get West Tennessee Bass Yacker started. And I think we could agree that this year we've seen a lot more participation in our club, and it's kayaks flying out the door up here.
Yep.
So, what does this mean? What does Lines In mean to you, and just kind of, getting this show started, doing a podcast for our area, just in general,
I think it's a great thing. There's so many people out there, especially, I hate to say on this end of West Tennessee, but, it's the growth is actually coming from the Memphis area. In this podcast, I'm hoping that people look to this podcast and look to the website to find the things you were talking about, the techniques and all the things that go into kayak fishing. Because everybody as a kid, we all fished, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all fished from the bank. I started fishing from the bank. I remember the first big bass I ever caught, right?
Yeah.
Most of us do. But you gravitate into things, and I went to bass boats for a little while with a buddy, and then I just wanted something to hop around in ponds, right?
Yeah.
And I wound up buying a kayak sight unseen on the internet, and that's been over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've gravitated to doing this and running the club and just traveling all over the country fishing, and I want people to experience kayak fishing through us,
Yeah, I mean it's just such a unique and awesome way to get out there and enjoy what you want to do. Not just fishing either. I mean, getting out there and just having to float down the river, going out and hanging out with your friends, on a Saturday morning. But I'm like you. I mean, I got started, fishing from the bank. I remember riding my little Huffy around to all the local ponds and stuff, bag of culprit worms, and I was out there until I lost all my hooks and weights, and about 6 years ago, a coworker of mine, a new contractor, a young guy, was talking about how they were going kayak fishing. Mm-hmm. And up to that point, I had no idea about kayak fishing. I just knew I couldn't afford a bass boat. Absolutely. So I mean,
getting harder every day to afford one.
It is $80 grand, man. It's crazy, But I mean, I looked into it, and it's just, I mean, my wife would probably refer to it as my obsession, which that's exactly what it is. So
it's definitely an obsession.
Yeah, she might be watching tonight, so I don't know, but that's what it is, man. It's just it's just an awesome way to get out there. So many people are getting into it. It's meant so much to me. I've met so many awesome people. Met these guys. So many people from all over the country out on the trail. I mean, just made friends, friends over nights with people. So it's just so awesome to get this podcast going for our area, but also nationally. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff. We're gonna have a guest on from top finishers from national events, but also putting attention on our local guys too. We've got some sticks in this area that they just choose not to, or for whatever reason have other obligations to where they don't get out there and fish the national scene. But they're very skilled anglers. We can't wait to get those guys on here to talk to them, pick their brains, learn all their secrets, and
at least what they'll tell us.
Yeah. We're gonna pull their leg. We're
We'll make sure we get what we need.
Yeah. But we're just we're just looking to have fun with this, guys. And just in general, just sharing our passion with you guys. But stay with us. We're gonna take a short little commercial break to talk about a little segment of what's in stock up here at Primary Tackle. So we'll be right back.
Hey y'all. One of the big questions we get every day is what do we got new at Primary Tackle? So we want to kind of go through that a little bit here real quick. So one of the new things we have in is from Profound Outdoors, and we have got a couple of new things, so let's go through that real quick. Alright, so we got in the Z-Boss 20s. It won't be long and those will be coming into play. Great 20-foot deep diving crankbait, real similar to a 6XD from Strike King. Pulls a little differently. The Square Boss is something that you can throw right now and really catch them. Good little square bill, real similar to a 1.5, 2.5, kind of in the middle of the road kind of bait. The Z-Dog, nice walking bait, going to come into play as we go into post spawn very soon. And then the Popper Z. Now, this is one of those baits post spawn I really love. It's a great bait for throwing around those bass that are garden nest. And then we've got the Coffee Slough creature bait. It's a big 5-6 inch creature bait, really good for flipping and covering those flooded bushes. And the Ringo, so a nice little worm, ringworm. I like throwing these around post spawn fish. You can Texas rig it. You can actually throw this even on like a shaky head. And then the Cross'em, another great little flipping bait, great creature bait. Got some cool colors in those. And then the Sign Point Lizard, always a great choice when you're flipping around. Spawning fish are on a Carolina rig as we go into the post spawn. So those are some great new baits from Profound, and new to us more so than new to them. But got a great selection of colors and great selection of those baits here in the shop. So come check them out. So those are some great new baits.
All right, guys, welcome back. Just a little bit. We want to give our sponsors, the thanks that they deserve. Primary Tackle and S.Y. Wilson are two prime sponsors for this show. So just a little segment from David over at there he is at Primary. David over at Primary talking about what's in stock. Profound Outdoors, we got some Dakota Lithium in stock. So make sure if you have needs, call these guys up and see what they got. But we're gonna talk about our latest event at for the West Tennessee Bass Yackers. We had a Browns Creek Lake. Browns Creek Lake, if you're not familiar, is a 167-acre lake in the Natchez Trace State Park, just east of Jackson, Tennessee, and it's a favorite of our club. You know, we fish there once or twice a year, and I mean, if you looked at it, you wouldn't think it, but this lake is just, I almost don't want to say it, but I mean, it's just, it's loaded. It's loaded with some giants.
Well,
and
we'll see one of those here in a minute.
Yeah,
I got lucky, yeah. And I mean, it's just, you know, it's a fun lake. You know, you get, you know, everybody puts in at the same ramp. You kind of shotgun starting, you know, everybody's blasting off, and you know, it's a great time. Everybody enjoys fishing it. You got just the opportunity for a fish of a lifetime out there, and I happened to luck up and catch one of those. But I'm just gonna read you guys the results. I'm sure quite a few of you saw them that fished with us. Actually, hammered. I mean, just knocked it out of the park with 62 3/4 inches of fish. I think you can back me up here, man. I think that might be the biggest limit that's come out of Browns.
It's really close. I think Trent may have beat him a couple of years ago, but yeah, I think Trent. It was really close. I can't remember exactly. I should have had it with us today, but yeah, that's one heck of a limit.
I got some stud of a limit. I mean, anchored by a 22-incher. You know, he fished a buzzbait. And guys, you can check out these reviews from all of our tournaments on the linesinyakfishingpage.com. In fact, I twisted their arms. They're gracious enough to send me, you know, recaps of what they did to catch their fish for the top 4 anglers. I came in second, had 23-inch, 10 largemouth to take second place, and AJ Hansen flipped a Strike King Rage Buck to put 54 inches of bass in the boat, good enough for third place. And Trent Harris, I think, popped his way all the way to 52 inches. He's got a unique story. I don't think I've plugged his recap in there just yet. Sorry, Trent, if you're watching, but I'll get that up there. He's got a unique little story of how he came to choose his bait for the day. But anyways, I mean, it was a great time out there. You know, we had a lot of participants. 34?
It was 34 there. We had a couple of people who hadn't fished with us this year. They came in and fished, and I think everybody except myself caught fish. But
it happens, man.
Yeah, I inherited David's hook set issue that he fixed when he didn't. But
I did fix it. It came back on Sunday. So.
Okay.
Well, hey, we'll cut you some slack. You're fishing out of a new boat this year.
That's true.
Yeah,
it takes a little bit of adjustment, you know. So
that's not the problem.
I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I appreciate it. But nevertheless, that tournament is always fun. I mean, we everybody enjoys it. I mean, and that lake can be like it was this time, or it can be stingy as any other lake I've ever seen. I mean, it's got that Florida strain largemouth in it that are just.
Well, that Florida strain largemouth produced a nice one for this Yahoo right
it
here.
did.
So, I mean, you want to watch the video now? Let's go ahead and go into it. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
So, hang on, guys. We're going to get you there. It takes me just a second, and we are good to go. I'm hoping this is going to show up the way it should on the screen, so we're kind of watching.
That was terrifying.
I bet. It had to be.
I tell you, that one for me, oh shoot, I can't do that. That one for me was kind of crazy in that I thought you were awful calm.
I did too. You see in the video, you're calm.
You know, honestly, at this point, before it happened so quick, I was like, man, this is a catfish, because it just hit it and ran. I mean, just swam so hard, so quick. And I mean, you know, you don't catch that caliber of fish every day, so I mean, you're almost guessing of what's really going on, but
you might have seen a little bit of panic when you turned around.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it jumps that.
She's hard.
At that point, I was like, you know what? If it comes off, because this
I would have been losing my stuff about there.
Yeah.
This is where we start hearing the oh my gods, and he starts freaking a little bit. And
Russell's sitting there watching it the whole
He
time.
was.
Yeah, video.
Russell was awesome, man. He was just excited as I was.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Dude, it is a giant. Oh my god.
I
Oh,
was
my
a little
word.
in disbelief at that point. But yeah, I had it on, I caught that bait on lipless crankbait, any treble bait, you're always.
Now he becomes giddy as a school kid.
Oh, it didn't stop. Like, I cut this video short. Like, me and Russell went on and on for like about 15 minutes.
I gotta get through it.
A lot of fun. That's just, that's the possibility at Browns Creek. That's why I like going there. Donnie Jones has caught one that big, if not bigger.
It's 12 pounds. His was 12.
This is 12.
Golly.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yes.
As heavy as it was,
Golly,
23
man.
inches. She was a little short, but I caught a 24 and a quarter inch there, steak 2 years ago.
Dude,
And
I think this is my PB, man.
she that was post spawn. Summertime, so she definitely wasn't heavy.
She was in like 2 to 3 feet of water.
Yeah, see,
That one,
a heart attack.
that was about 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in.
I had my back guard and I heard all kinds of smashing going on. I said, what the heck is that? Well,
Yeah, they're in there.
that's what it is right there. Look at that. There's my mama.
So that
So
was really cool. I got to test out a new rod with that catch. David's got them stuck up here. Little Miami Proteus rods. It was on a 7.3 medium heavy baitcaster boat. The great thing about that rod is it's got a nice parabolic action to it, so you could tell, it was given as that fish was pulling. That rod was giving it, what it needed to keep it from breaking out. But just an awesome day. The tournament season so far for West Tennessee has been really, has been absolutely phenomenal. A lot of new faces, people, doing well, new guys doing well, winning events, and I got to give a shout out to Brandon Davis, a new co-director for Matt.
he's doing a great job.
They're doing
Excellent
an
job.
outstanding job.
Outstanding job, and had some awesome trophies made. I should have brought it up here just to show you guys, but it's really cool. This is a local deal. You're paying $30 to enter. We're out there for fun mostly, but to bring something like that home, that's pretty cool hardware.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
David, I want to ask you, coming from the bass boat scene, in the kind of local club tournaments that you guys have fished, what's different about the kayak tournaments from the bass boat, or is there a lot of similarities?
There's a certain amount of similarities, but it is different for sure. So, in most bass boat tournaments, you've got a boater and a co-angler kind of thing. So there's a dynamic there of you can take a guy out of the back of your boat and he can beat you. We had one at Carroll County this weekend with my River City guys, where one of the boaters got beat because dude caught a six something. My buddy Rick caught a stud. And then he had 4 more fish, so he won the tournament. He had big fish of the tournament. And, his boater's sitting in the front and didn't even place well. So, there's that dynamic that, you're kind of competing against the guy in the back of the boat. Now, there's certain clubs that do team and that kind of thing. Like, I fished one, we're fishing one in May at Gunnersville, and it's a team event that me and my buddy Mike fish in. And we fished together going on close to 20 years now. As long as my daughter, he's watched my daughter grow up. We fished together for 20 years on these 2-day events in May and September. And so that's the fun part. The same camaraderie that you have in bass boat tournaments, but I see it more in the kayak side.
Yeah.
Even on the Hobie side of it, even in the professional level kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm meeting guys out there across the country, and they're just as freaking nice as they can be. At Broken Bow, I traveled with Jordan Marshall for 30 or 40 minutes, and we just talked our way down the lake. I hung out with Cody Milton a little bit, who ended up placing 8th at the Hobie event at Dardanelle this weekend. We're fishing the same area. I flubbed it up. He did good.
Really nice.
You know,
Yeah.
He's a
but-
real good guy.
So I mean, but it's kind of wild that you can go I like the kayak scene because you're fishing so individually. I think there's a lot more camaraderie. Plus, just the element of, you know, if something goes wrong, it's nice to have those other guys out there. You want to make
Right.
friends as you can, and you know, so because you know, there's been some instances this year where people have had issues and people have kind of helped them out,
Yep.
and so it's always a big deal. So, and I see more of that in the kayak side than I do in the bass boat side because it's so freaking competitive. But you know, it's cool. I mean, I love the kayak side of it. I've enjoyed it tremendously. I mean, you guys know I sold my bass boat just so I could fish it more. So, and it has been good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, you know, you're out there in these little plastic boats. I mean, I've had people drive by me in pontoon boats out in the middle of Kentucky Lake, like, dude, you are crazy. What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
But you got your buddy right there. You're looking after each other. You're helping each other. I mean, there's been numerous situations that have come up where anglers have, you know, rolled their boats. You know, unfortunate, you know, situations. And if it wasn't for their buddies being right there, you know, helping them out, you know, who knows what would have happened. But I mean, it's just such a. It's. I mean, the social aspect of it is awesome. You know, you can load up 3-4 boats on a trailer. You're all riding together, going to the tournaments, whatever, just hanging out, just having a great time. You know, even outside of the tournament, you know, you go fish little small rivers, little small creeks and stuff like that. You know, it's just awesome. But so, you know, you kind of mentioned Hobie, so we're gonna transition into.
So we're really want to talk about Hobie.
Well,
no,
you know, so what is this? The fourth stop?
that was the
This
fourth
was fourth
stop.
stop.
It was the
Yeah.
fourth stop of the Hobie Bass Open Series. All 3 of us have been fishing it this year. Started out at Lake Seminole in February. Went to,
You had a good finish there.
I did, yeah, 18th. Kind of dropped on day 2 and missed 1 fish, but they went from Seminole to, what was it next? Oh yeah,
Watts Bar.
Watts Bar.
You're still trying to forget that one.
So,
Yeah. Well, me and Matt, you know, we were. I mean, that was, you know, 2021 pandemic snowstorm.
That's
Yes.
right, and it was terrible.
1990, was it 91 rivalry? You know, snowstorm. And me and Matt were like, you know, should we go? Is the 40 good enough? But
I copped out on that one and said, you know, I got to run the store, and
Yeah.
we had so much crap going on here. I was more than happy to cop out on that one and not go.
yeah, you know, I shouldn't listen to my wife on that one. Just stay home.
And my wife was encouraging me to go. I mean, you know, she wanted me to wait, make sure the roads were clear, because as everybody knows, it's 10 inches of snow. I had to dig the
Yeah.
kayak trailer out.
And I got to Knoxville, and they had no
Yeah.
snow.
Got just past, what was it,
Clarksville?
Cookville.
That
and
last
nothing.
mountain. Yeah.
No, there was nothing, not even
Yeah.
a flake. But, you know, I wound up finishing 38th in that one, you know, and had no clue. I didn't get
Yeah.
the pre-fish, didn't do anything, just a, you know, just a little research.
then-
Well, as my wife says, a lot of research. And, you know, came across a couple of fish
Days
and
and
finished 38th.
Yeah.
The third one was Broken Bow. I went by myself because everybody bailed on me. Had a ball. I would go back to Broken Bow in a heartbeat. Was on the right fish. You know, I was in the right area again,
Yeah.
and just could not freaking put it together. Could not put the fish in the boat, which is something we've talked about. I mean, I should have had a limit both days by 8:30, 70, 75 inches. I had a great. I told Justin, dude, I caught 75, 80 inches in practice. I said, I am screwed. I am gonna do terrible. Told AJ the same thing, and could not put them in the boat. I had 3 fish in the boat the first day, 3 fish in the boat I think the second day, and just had the fish on both days to really do well, and just couldn't. I mean, not get a check, but at least have a decent finish, and at least it'll be a respectable deal. Still struggling with the boat, still trying to figure out how to do good hook sets, and you're gonna see that in a little bit too. And just could not put it together. But it is what it is. But if you ever get a chance to go to Broken Bow, stay in Hochatown, known for Bigfoot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that revolves around Bigfoot there. Got 2 great little microbreweries, a wine tasting restaurant.
Wow.
moonshine places left and freaking right, and if you're a CBD guy, their CBD is off the
So
wall.
if you like
it's like
fishing,
Walgreens.
smoking,
There are
and
more,
drinking.
there are more CBD joints there than there are Walgreens. I'll tell you that right now. So.
That's 3 good reasons to go there. So,
but it was an interesting place. But it's a beautiful, beautiful lake. I would compare it to maybe like a Center Hill, something along that line.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that's one of the only style of lakes in that area, and it's kind of
Yeah, I mean it's a deeper, clear water kind of place.
Yeah.
A lot of flooded timber. When I first looked at it on the schedule, I was thinking of like a Sardis there. You know, it's that shallow. I'm thinking, oh, that's the one I want to go to because it's a shallow water, muddy kind of thing. And I started doing my research. I'm like, oh hell no, this is not my kind of place, but I'm going anyway. I'd scheduled it out. It kind of fit my schedule a little bit, so I wanted to go. So I went. And I had a great time. I would go back in a heartbeat.
It's kind of it's kind of like how oh man, the name is escaping my head. Down there by Pickwick, Bay Springs.
Bay Springs. Oh yeah.
Bay Springs. I mean,
Kind of similar.
they
Kind of like a high water reservoir.
It is. Yeah,
it's a highland. It would be considered a highland
Yeah.
reservoir.
clear water, deep
Yeah.
grass.
I mean, the guys that want it, they want it watching live scopes, catching fish out of freaking 30 foot of water on dang A-rigs and stuff.
That's a topic for another discussion.
It is. That's a long
That's
discussion.
a
We're not going there
big,
today.
controversial
is
topic
very-
right now. Man.
yeah, it
a lot of pros are coming out about it, but
We won't
but
go
they still
there
got them on
today.
their boats. But you
That's
know,
a long.
hey,
That's a long conversation.
it is.
very long.
But you know, that's just the direction
and
the
that
sport's going. man.
Brings us to number 4, and it's at Lake Dardanelle, which
Lake
was one I
Dardanelle.
was looking very darn forward to, and was in the right area, or one of the right areas, and just kind of screwed it up. But
So Lake Dardanelle, you know, was setting up to be a slugfest.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, practice. I got down on Thursday. When did you get down,
I
man?
got out on Thursday afternoon.
Thursday
Got in
afternoon.
fish and did a little pre-fishing on Friday.
Yeah, I got in same Thursday evening. I put in at one place for like 3 hours, and it didn't take long. I mean, they were up shallow, and I was on the phone with David. You know, I don't think you had made it down yet. You were still on
no,
the way.
I'm still at work.
And I was like, dude, I just caught a 4-pounder.
Yeah,
You know?
and I'm like,
an hour into it, day 2 of practice, same deal. I mean, wasn't trying to, just, you know, you're fishing to see the quality of fish in the area. Caught a 5-pounder, and so I mean, it was setting up to be a really great event, and I mean, it was for a lot of people. We'll get into our excuses here in a minute, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, that's fishing, you know. But overnight, you know, the water, you know, the temperatures dropped, I think, down to the 40s. You know, it had been in the 60s, low 70s potentially, and the water had dropped by about 1.5 feet,
Yeah.
2 feet.
Makes a big change.
Yeah, I mean, area I was fishing, I mean, it was massive flat, only about 4 feet average, you know. So I mean, you can imagine 2 feet comes off over the top of their head. You know, they're up on beds, they're getting ready to spawn, and it's not happening anymore. But we're gonna start with Matt. Matt, what was your impression going into the event? And I also kind of want to get, you know, just, you know, what's your take on the Hobie? Because this is your first year fishing the Hobie Bass Open Series. I know you've had a great time, but you know, just kind of walk us through and tell us, you know, your experience and kind of how it compares to club level stuff.
Well, you know, for me, it's totally different than the club level because, you know, I'm at the club level. I'm the last on the water. I'm the first off the water. You got so much that goes into it, which I enjoy and thoroughly enjoy. And we'll do it forever. But with this, you know, I'm a competitive angler in this, and there's a little drive to do better at the Hobies than I'm doing. You know, but even still, I mean, the research that goes into it, like I said just a few minutes ago, you know, all the research that goes into it, because most of these lakes I haven't been to, which I love to do. I love to go to lakes, try to break them down and prepare, you know, before you get there. And it's always good to go a couple of days early and pre-fish, which I don't always get to do because, you know, family life and work and all this, that, and the others, everybody well knows.
Right.
But I love it, and this is not the first series that I've fished. Years ago, when it was the old KBS, Kayak Bass series. I fished it.
That was the original.
That was
big
one of
series,
the
wasn't it?
original. Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
original national trails that came out about the same time as the KBF. And you know, it gives you the opportunity to travel all over the country and fish, you know, lakes that you may not normally get to fish. You may not just travel to fish. You know, I fished in Lake Erie out of a kayak, of all places.
Thank
Wow.
you.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy. That's actually where I met Cody Nutton.
Yeah.
So but you know, it's really fun for me to travel, and you meet people that you'll never meet, and,
Right.
and you become friends. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you meet so many people, and to me, the preparation, going to a new place, and the people that you meet. That's what
Yeah.
that's what does it for me.
Yeah. So, you know, going to this into Lake Dardanelle, did you have preconceived notions as to, you know, what was your thoughts going into it, and how did it change for you?
Oh, absolutely. I was like, you guys, I thought it was going to be a shallow water slugfest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which on Friday it was. You know, I find fish shallow. You guys know how I fish. I like to fish shallow. I like to get up in a creek. I like to be in it. Little did I know that they were going to, the
Drop
Corps of
water.
Engineers were going to drop the bottom out of the lake.
Yeah, I know.
And the place I was catching fish on Friday was dry land.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it was literally, I mean, I didn't even put it in a ramp. I slid in at a park, and I almost needed help to get the kayak out of the water when I went to take out those 2 days. So, anyway, the weather, you can't never use the weather an excuse, but yeah, it
Right.
did hurt. It was cold and rainy and windy, but the water drops really what hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think that if we just had the water, I mean, the temperature drop, you know, that, you know, may have affected a little bit. But I mean, as you saw, I mean, there were still a lot of limits caught.
Absolutely.
The three of us, you know, we just were obviously not in it. David, what's your excuse, man?
I don't have an excuse.
You've been fishing a lot longer than us, but
You put the limit up the first
he
day.
did put a limit up. We can't
All
give
right.
him too much grief.
Yeah, so I did put a limit up the first day, and I got a little video, and it kind of shows some of the stuff. Some gorgeous sunsets. I'm gonna show a few fish on here too, but you know, it's one of those things. I'm still kind of learning this, and I did pick the right area. I mean, I did the research. I picked a good area. It was a long haul. You can see I was a little behind the 8-ball, but this is kind of what Lines In is all about. You know, getting that first little bit in, that 30 minutes of getting out on the water and getting there, getting your line prep. You can see the kind of area I'm fishing. A lot of shallow water grass. I picked a section that had a really good creek channel through it, and had some really good grass in it. And you know, in practice, it had a foot and a half of water in it, and man, there were fish just stacked in there. Tournament morning, there was literally only 12 or 13 inches. By the end of the day, there was only about 6 inches there.
Wow.
And there were places that I was catching fish during the tournament that were probably that were dry by the end of the tournament on
Oh,
Sunday.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just crazy. And you can see, I mean, I caught a few. I mean, I've kind of been working really hard on working with the Texas rig, and really, because everybody knows it's kind of my thing. I'm a dragger. I love to fish that way. And it's always been my deal. And so caught a lot of, you know, little small 12 to 14 inch fish on day one, and did good. You see those little outlets like that was where I caught a lot of fish, especially going into the tournament, little laydowns going into the water, and it was kind of my deal. Day 2 rolls around, and I just could not adjust well.
Yeah.
And here's a good example. I mean, you know, I got a good bite. You're gonna watch the fish kind of skipping across the top of the water, and I still don't see anything wrong with what I did hook set wise. I've watched this video 100 times now, and it just comes off. And that was kind of the way my day went. I mean, I had 5 bites on day 2, and that's when I had bite number 5 at around noon, and lost bite 5. I was like, you know what? To heck with it. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat. I'm tired. I was traveling. Basically, I told AJ this morning. I was talking to him. I was like, I literally would pedal 43 minutes each morning to get to my spot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I started, was at the 43-minute mark. I mean, I felt really confident in it. I had a good area, and I was in a good area. What I did wrong was what Cody did right, and he was fishing a lot more lead-in stuff. And when I say lead-in stuff, and this is kind of one of the things that we want to talk about, and one of the things we really want to focus on when we're doing these things, is how can you do better?
Right.
And when I say a lead-in spot, is where I was fishing was the spawning area. I mean, you had it was a 4 to 6 foot deep channel rolling through a smaller kind of, it wasn't a full flat, but it was a small flat that on each side had 6 to 18 inches of water typically, with all this little scattered grass that the bass could pull up on, build a nest, have the sunlight that they need for them to spawn really, really well, and for them to be able to do what they need to do, and have somewhere to slide out to.
Right.
And, you know, Cody and David, David Bird, another guy that was fishing in the area, what they had kind of done is they had picked those areas. They were fishing some of the same stuff I was, but they were picking those areas where a channel swing would come in and go right up against the bank, right up against some grass. And they found those little bit deeper areas where those fish could slide up or slide down. And they would concentrate in those slide down areas after that water pulled down. So they had somewhere where the fish would slide into and sit, and they just didn't leave it. Where I was kind of fishing too fast and kind of trying to cover my same areas, I got too focused on what I'd done in practice and not where I should have been adjusting to.
Right.
And that's the thing that you have to take into consideration when you're fishing these kind of things, is don't just plan for plan A, plan for plan B, plan for plan C, plan for plan D.
Yeah.
And have that fallback. And it's something I know from a bass boat standpoint, but it's a lot easier from my bass boat mentality to do it, because crap, if plan A didn't work, I can drive 20 miles down the lake. Well, it's not that easy in a kayak.
Yeah.
Especially when your starting point is 43 minutes from the boat ramp.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of a neat thing to kind of go through. So.
Yeah. It looks like. You probably agree with me. It looks like on that side of the lake, y'all had a lot more vegetation, because the 3 areas, even where we were fishing in Illinois Bayou, I mean, there was some in the very, very back,
Right.
but that looked a lot like further along in the growth.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit more thick. You know, in the area where I started out on Saturday and pre-fished on Friday, it didn't have that kind of vegetation in it.
No.
You
Yeah.
know? I mean, it was.
Mine didn't either.
Yeah.
It was not.
So.
Wasn't there.
We had a lot of spatter dock on that end of the lake. We didn't have any kind of, I mean, you know, one of the things I'm used to seeing at the Arkansas River that I did not find at all was hydrilla or milfoil.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
I didn't see any, and usually in that Spadra, Illinois Bayou area, you usually have some of that. And I did not, you know, from anybody I talked to, I didn't think that there was a lot of that there. We were fishing a lot of what I call spatter dock, which is those little bowls that come up.
Yeah.
And those float some, but you don't see those like you see with hyacinth, where you see those really thick mats that float way out.
Right.
But in talking to and listening to the Hobie thing, that's why a lot of those guys caught it. Was there was a few guys that caught it punching that kind of stuff, was out a little bit deeper, and that's something I didn't do as much of as I probably should have.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was a lot of guys that were catching them on those bull rushes, and they were still shallow, but they were just doing something a little different, in that they were fishing faster moving baits like a chatterbait or fishing a swim bait, and fishing it really close up in relatively shallow water, but something that had a little slide,
Right.
so they could go to deeper.
Right.
So that was an important piece that I kind of missed, but that's part of this game. It's kind of a learning curve.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, what I've kind of told some people before is, you know, in this kayak deal, you know, we're limited in mobility, but you can't limit yourself. You know, David made a good point. I mean, you know, he said he traveled, you know, pedaled 40-50 minutes just to get to a spot. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. You know, in these bigger events, you know, a lot of lakes that we fish, or most of the lakes we fish on the club level, you know, especially out here in West Tennessee, you know, they're smaller lakes. You know, we're all from the same point, except for, you know, Pickwick, Kentucky
Right.
Lake stuff. But you know, I mean, more and more we're seeing that guys are paddling these really long distances to go and, you know, and catch these fish. But I mean, that was just the adjustment I feel like I missed, you know. And I told you on the phone, you know, when I was in practice on Friday, I caught some on the channel swing bank up there shallow, you know, and for whatever reason in my head, I had this thing with Piney Creek. I just had to go there. I don't know. I didn't get to go there in practice. And Saturday, I you know, started out in my area. There's quite a few people there fishing, and you know, after I realized that the water level had dropped so much, I loaded up. You know, probably 2 hours later, you know, went to Piney, and it was just completely dirty in there. I mean, just really bad. So you know, I lost about an hour and a half of fishing on Saturday. But you know, just those decisions that you make. Sometimes they can be good decisions. Sometimes they're not so great decisions. But guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to cut to a commercial for S.Y. Wilson, and we'll be right back.
So new here at S.Y. Wilson, we have Hook fishing apparel. So old line's been around since 2014, but you know, it's they got all kinds of great clothing specifically designed for fishermen. So we wanted to show you guys some of that today. I got my little buddy Meredith here. She's going to tell you a little bit about what she's wearing and then some other pieces.
Yeah, so I actually have on the one of the hoodies in this material. They've got navy and they've got mint.
Lichen, it's, you know, a light green.
That color. It's super comfortable, really lightweight, really breathable. And one thing I really love about them is they're UV 50, which means, I mean, you don't have to wear sunscreen in the places, obviously, that you have the t-shirt on, which is great. Don't have to worry about getting sunburned.
Yeah. So great stuff. I mean, you know, and they've got a lot of different versions. They got regular dry fit shirts, tie-dye, fish on them, all kinds of different stuff. They've got some regular little cotton shirts with their logos and with the fish, and you know, all kinds of other logos as well. So great stuff. You know, this is the Icon. This is one of the new shirts. It's got a little zipper pocket. You can throw you a little bit of cash, your ID in here. You want to jump off at the boat dock and go grab you a burger, some fries, a Coke, whatever, and you don't want to have to tote your wallet and everything else up. You can just tie your boat up and you're good to go. So one of the other cool things that they have is shorts, and they've got some neat stuff there.
Yeah, so these are actually hybrid shorts, so you can wear them as regular shorts, swim trunks, or anything like that. They are actually made from this thing called Reprieve, which is basically they make it, you see this little green water bottle, they make it out of plastic water bottles, which is really great for the environment. They're recycled, and they've also got Teflon in them, which kind of like, you know, cooking pans, you know, they're stain resistant.
Yeah, and the beautiful part about that, guys, is look, you guys all know we get out there on the boat and you get grease on your shirt and your pants. You get fish blood, all kinds of other stuff that you get on there, and you take it home to your wife or your girlfriend, and they're fussing at you because you done messed up this new clothes that you just got. So it's a good way to avoid some of that argument as well. But all kinds of great new stuff here at the shop with Hook. So come by and check it out. So new.
All right, guys. So thanks for hanging with us. Just a quick little short clip from our awesome sponsor, S.Y. Wilson and Company. You know, just again, you know, any kayak needs, these guys have everything you need, from, you know, the kayaks themselves, the accessories, Hobie, New Canoe. Jackson just got in Jackson kayaks
got some
not so long
Jacksons
ago.
in. Got Dakota lithium batteries.
Dakota lithium.
Anything you need.
A whole wall full of Hobie accessories that need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you're in the market for a PA 12 360,
We got one.
we got one.
And I know there's a
One of
couple
the
of
few
guys
places in
out
the
there.
world.
There's a couple of you guys that are looking. You don't
Yeah.
don't
Look,
wait too long.
Hey, I want to say something about PAs real quick. Guys, I just got off the phone with AJ this morning. We have PA 14s ordered, PA 14 360s ordered. They're going to be July getting here.
But you better get your name on them, because
Yeah.
they
Well,
will go quick.
yeah, and then most of them are spoke for. So,
Yeah, most of them probably spoke.
so I mean, it's going to be, if you want a kayak this year, you better get it. If one comes up that you can grab up, you better get it, be it here or be it somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you got a specific version or specific model you're looking for, this is going to be one of the hardest. I thought last year was one of the hardest years ever to get a kayak. This is going to be the hardest year ever.
Yeah, because all of your manufacturers, they're all
behind.
Yeah, they're all behind, and you have your allotment already ordered for
Yes.
2021.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you can't order or change it.
We can't order any more Hobies or change our orders.
Mhm.
Jackson cut our orders by 25% for the year. Our preseason June order for New Canoe, I'm still kind of trying to get some clarification from Blake, but it may be July or August before I get them. I mean, we will be out of kayaks in this building probably by May 15th.
It's crazy.
I will be surprised if I have a kayak left. I mean, we're literally selling a kayak a day right now. I have 37 kayaks left, so basically 37 days, assuming nothing changes and somebody doesn't come in to buy. I actually have a guy coming tomorrow to buy 2, I think.
You know,
so
a few years ago,
we couldn't give a kayak away.
A few years ago, you couldn't give him, and I don't know, some of you know who I'm talking about. His name is Joff Luckett. I call him the godfather of kayak fishing. He's the one that started TKA, Tennessee Kayak Anglers, years and years ago in Nashville. Well, he's the one that kind of got me headed and CJ headed the right direction. But, you know, I told him one time, I said, man, I wish that the Memphis area was like the Nashville area. Because you could just go to the Nashville area and you see kayaks and boats and everything everywhere. But it's getting the same way here.
It is.
And I think it's great. I mean, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, come see David for kayak.
Yeah. If you want one, you better hurry.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I saw a box down there for Motor Guide. So if you guys want a, you know, Motor Guide, I mean, that's a big thing right now. A lot of guys are bow mounting the motors, you know, or stern mounting them as well. Just whatever your preference is. You know, of course, on the club, if you fish club tournaments with us, no motors allowed. But you know, of course, I mean, out there fun fishing, it's a great way to get out to your location.
Great way to pre-fish too.
Great way to pre-fish. Conserve that energy. That's the ticket in tournaments.
Yeah.
But kind of talking about club level stuff, you know, we got Beach Lake coming up this next weekend. Beach Lake is in the Lexington, Tennessee area, just right outside of Jackson, Tennessee, so not very far from here.
Downtown Lexington.
Downtown Lexington, right there in the middle of it. Got some big fish in there. It's got some vegetation, points, you know, docks, offshore structures, stuff like that, you know, rock. So a lot of opportunities to kind of fish your strengths, what you like to do. I suspect, you know, if we get rid of this cold weather, there might be some big ones up shallow.
There's a big one caught in there last week.
Yeah, our friend Jason Carr. Caught it, what was it, a 20, 23,
22 or 23. He was fishing out of a bass boat. He was fishing a tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some big ones in there. Actually, in fact, you know, we had when West Tennessee Bass Yackers hosted the state championship 3 years ago. It was one off of Beach Lake. The guy was throwing back 19s and 20s because they went out.
He Cameron Gatlin. He's from that area, but he now lives over near Chattanooga. He put up 104 inches one day.
Yeah.
I mean, with 5 fish, and
Look,
he was calling 20s. He called me and said, "Dude, I can't get this fish to upload. I can't get this fish to upload." I said, "Just relax, calm down. You're calling a 20-incher."
So, you gave me the old dad talk.
I did.
Calm down, son.
I did. But that's to say that the Beach Lake has.
There's some studs in there.
There's some studs in there. There really are.
I mean, I've won 2 tournaments there with over 20 pounds for 5 fish.
Exactly.
Bass tournaments. So
we're gonna have the captain's meeting at 5:45 at the main ramp.
There's 2 other launch locations.
There's 2 others, possibly a third. I'm working on a third one at Redneck Island. I mean,
the campground, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting on her to call
right.
me back. We've talked once. I'm working on something with her, so
Cool.
you know that's. But we're gonna have lines in at 6, and then we'll be out at 2, and have a check in at 2:30, just like we normally do. You can. We're using PayPal now. We're using it strictly this year because it's just so much easier.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys
it's
can pay.
been nice, yeah.
You know, you pay into PayPal, we pay out to PayPal, so it works really nice. And you know, just go to the event page and everything's right there. Brandon did a great job setting that up. But yeah, I'm looking really forward to this one.
Yeah, it's good. I'm unfortunately going to miss it. 2 tournaments in a row, back-to-back weekends, so I'm going to hang out with the family this weekend, do some fun stuff with them.
Family first, always.
That's right. And Dave, are you going to make it? Are you going
don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I got some scheduling stuff here that I'm gonna have to deal with, so I will not be making it for that event again. One of these days we'll get it all straight here. So,
I'm gonna have to toe the line this time.
He needs an assistant, man. Or a clone.
I'm not
Clone is
ready.
what
I'm
I
not
mean.
ready to retire
Yeah,
yet.
clone. There you go.
So
See, the only problem is, if I come to work today, I gotta have Saturdays off.
yeah.
I'm the same way. I need the
I
weekend.
gotta have a weekend.
Bless
Yeah,
with a
well,
job that gives you
unfortunately,
that
in
stuff.
retail, that does not
That's
work.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
So,
that's
I
your
mean,
money-making
that's
days.
our money-making day. It's one of the busiest days of every week, and we literally have 2 events running here simultaneously from the looks of things. Plus, I'm short some help, and it is going to be a busy, busy day. So, for those of y'all that will be in town, just a quick plug. The girls from O'Great are going to be doing sampling of some of the food from 12 to 2 or 12 to 3 on Saturday in conjunction with the opening of the new park.
That's that food.
That's the pre-prepared frozen meals we sell here at the store. They have everything from chicken pot pie to chicken and dressing, which is what I had last night for dinner, to baked ziti, to lasagna rolls. I mean, they've got yeast rolls, some great desserts, all kinds of good food. So it's something to really, it's worth it. It is worth every dime.
So when your wife says, "What are we eating tonight?" There you go.
Run up here and
when you're
grab it and
when you're
save
tired
her.
of Chick-fil-A and all
Yeah.
that, come get some O'Great.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be great.
It's gonna be. I promise you. Courtney and Amy do an awesome job. So if you want to come try some, send your wife up here to come try some. She can get some good ideas of what she wants from the freezer. So,
Well, still a lot of opportunities. We're still just at the beginning of the season for the West Tennessee Bass Yackers, and of course, Hobie Bass Open Series as well. A lot more opportunities. With WTBY, the crown jewel is Angler of the Year, what everybody works for, but also state championship, which is going to be on Watts Bar this year. I got a strong feeling it's going to be a little bit better fishing than when you were there in February.
I think so.
Looking
it
forward
won't
to
be
that.
snowing.
And you take the top. It's your top 7 finishes that go towards, or top 5
For Angler of the
for
Year?
state.
For state, it's your 5.
It's your
It's your
best
5 best. So your 5 best, and we'll take the top 8, and those are the ones that'll go.
Yeah. It's always a great time. It's your best 10 fish. Your best 5 fish over the course of 2 days. So even if you skunk, you can go and eat Waffle House and go out there and catch a
Just like our
90
buddy
inch
Russell.
sack like Russell.
Like Russell last year, go win you a nice $1,500-$1,600 kayak, and you
Yeah.
turn around and
Yeah,
sell.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
So-
We always got some great stories about Russell. We'll share some more.
Absolutely, always good stuff.
Love Russell. But guys, anything else you want to talk about? We got one other topic of discussion
Just to
before we
say,
get out
don't
of here.
forget the giveaway. So.
Yeah, but we got 8 minutes. We'll just launch. We'll go right into it. We might cut the show short a couple of minutes, but we're doing a giveaway, guys, to usher in this new show. We're giving away, courtesy of Primary Tackle and S.Y. Wilson. We're giving away a Lew's American Hero reel, some Primary Tackle crawl bugs, and some tungsten weights, which are the no chip, and also Toadfish waterproof bags. You got 3 different sizes in there, so a pretty good little giveaway. We're going to be doing more of these throughout, as we continue on with this. But we just wanted to give something out to you guys, just put something out there just to say thanks for your initial interest in our show, and to encourage others to come out and hang out with us on the show. And we're going to be posting an initial or a official graphic on the Lines In page right here on Facebook. That you will, we got a few little requirements.
Yeah.
We're going to like the post. Once I post it, we'll post it up later tonight or tomorrow morning. You'll like the post and comment 2 of your buddies, tag them in there,
Yeah.
and then share our page, share the giveaway
Yeah.
post, and that'll get you entered into the giveaway. And we will. What do you guys say? You want to give it a week giveaway next week or 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, we're going to do the show. I think what we've kind of talked about is we're going to do the show over 2 weeks.
Right.
And that way it's not too much on us, and we're not overburdening you guys. So I think we do it in a 2-week time frame.
do it next.
So it gives you 2 weeks. You'll see me share it on the primary side as well, on the Mid-South Bass Fishing side.
Yeah, we'll be sharing it out. Yeah.
We'll be sharing it around, but the thing is make sure it's a public post, because if it's not a public post, when you share it and like it and all that, we can't see it on our side either. So when we get ready to do that drawing for those 3 different prize packs, we won't be able to even
Can you
Yeah.
see it?
Use it.
So,
So,
but make sure you're commenting on the original post on the Lines
Yeah.
In page. So don't share it and then comment on that. So we just want to make sure we can keep track of
Yeah.
everybody that that's participating in it. So looking forward to that. I mean, that's gonna be an awesome prize pack for somebody. Those claw bugs. You were catching some on them this past weekend. Love the
Well,
loose
I'm living on day
reels.
one.
Yeah,
I catch them.
loose reels are awesome.
I know
Of
he's
course,
caught a
you
couple
can't-
big ones. First time I ever had anyone, we caught a toad out of,
Yeah,
hurt.
I heard. Yeah.
So,
Well, guys, that is it. We appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us tonight. We're, again, we're just excited about this. And again, like David said, we're going to do this show every 2 weeks. Quality over quantity. We obviously have obligations ourselves. But
I don't have any obligations. I don't do
No,
anything.
you don't do anything.
You don't do
Yeah, no, nothing. No.
yeah. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and we will catch you 2 weeks from now on the next one.
All right,
See ya.
Lines In, guys.